It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, architect Thisara Thanapathy, a visionary in Sri Lankan architecture in over 35 years of experience. Known for his incredible ability to turn spaces into meaningful experiences, with his unique multisensory approach, he sees architecture as a way to connect the body, mind, and soul like never before. His firm, Thisara Thanapathy Architects, is renowned for creating rejuvenating environments that provide sanctuary in the midst of urban life's chaos. His work has earned him numerous accolades, including the Geoffrey Bawa Award for Excellence in Architecture 2010-2011, and an honorable mention for Matale Holiday Bungalow. He have also secured Sri Lankan Institute of Architects Design Award of Excellence 2010.
I'm delighted to invite you all to join me in giving a warm and sincere welcome to architect Thisara Thanapathy. We are truly honored to have him here today, and we look forward to hearing from him. Let's show our appreciation and enthusiasm as we welcome him to the stage.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I would like to thank Indian Institute of Architects and the organizers for inviting me to present in this wonderful event. So my presentation has two sections in it. The first section is actually a bit of theory. I hope everybody in the audience is architects, so it won't be an issue to listen to my theoretical part. Then there will be, the second section is, I'm going to show a few buildings of mine and one project, it's a proposed project that we are doing in India. Yeah. So, architecture cannot be fully explained. It has to be experienced. This is what Geoffrey Bawa has to say about architecture. So architectural experience is not just a visual experience. It's a multisensory experience.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for interruption. Could you please step closer to the mic?
When it comes to authentic architecture, it becomes a spiritual experience as well. Yeah. The truth cannot be written down. The moment you write it down, it is no more the truth. Yeah. You know, written words are symbols. They are mental constructs or concepts. The truth is said to be realized at a pre-conceptual level. So therefore, truth cannot be fully explained in verbal language. It is like, explaining to someone who has never tasted the, salt, and we are trying to explain to him the taste of salt by words, like, So, architecture at its highest level becomes art. These architect Tae Keng Zoon is an educator. He says architectural education should be sense-based rather than knowledge-based, right? So deep sensing and feeling is something important in creating an authentic architectural experience. Yeah, Peter Sumta, the famous architect, he talks about presence in architecture. He says architecture is a phenomenological experience, a lived-in experience. It is not something outside ourselves. It is about becoming the experience itself. I have actually got this quotation from Johanni Pallasma's one of his books. All great art evokes an experience of silence. The silence of art is not a mere absence of sound and noise, but a reminder of an ontological and independent condition, an observing, listening, and knowing silence, a silence that awakens a mental and sensory awareness. Great architecture can also create silence and connect us with the benevolent tranquility of the universe. So now, again, here is ontological status is sort of becoming the essence itself, rather than wrapping any mental constructs or mental concepts around your experience. The architectural experience is multisensory and pre-conceptual. It's a bodily engagement. So it is important that the rhythmic movement through space in architecture is something very important. Now here is a building space designed by famous architect Kengo Kumar. Right. So here the actual the aim is not the target, is not the physical target. It's the inner transformation, the inner the sort of becoming sort of one with the act you do is what is important. When you become one with the act, you are detached from the what we call subject-object duality. You become the one with that act. You become the verb actually. So man is considered to be a mere dead body until he achieves the pre-conceptual awareness. This is something you find in Buddhist concepts. At the pre-conceptual level, we don't see a perception. Sorry, at the conceptual level, in ordinary day-to-day life, we don't see a perception, how a perception bubbles up in our subconscious, right? So it happens in a flashing split second. We are not alert enough to see that. We are habitually sort of conceptualize and objectify our experience. We are always late, not in the present. I have seen this written in church facades, to my understanding, what they call the resurrection happens, when ego dies, right? When you actually reach a pre-conceptual level, when you are not in the subject and object duality. This is the quotation taken from Johannes Itten, who is a member of the Bauhaus group of the people. The primeval essence of color is a phantasmagorical resonance. A light becomes music. At the moment when thought, concept, formulation touch upon color, its spell is broken. We hold in our hands a corpse. What is this phantasmagorical resonance is kind of dream-like effect. This is also sort of falls in line with my thinking, so that's why I've taken this example to sort of explain what the real architectural experience is. It is essential to an architect to know how to see. I mean, to see in such a way that the vision is not overpowered by rational analysis. This is something, so he talks about, Louis Barragan talks about difficult art of seeing with innocence, right? So there is a sort of, you can develop an awareness or knowing, which is beyond logical thinking and logical analysis. You must have, as architects, heard of Christoph Alexander, Professor Christoph Alexander. I have taken this quotation from one of his books. Right? The phenomenon of, he talks about, life in situations and architectural spaces and objects and all that. The phenomenon of life, the book, tries to explain the quality of life in things. One example he takes is to explain this. To explain is a comparison between Bangkok shanty and an architect-designed postmodern house. According to him, Bangkok shanty has more life than postmodern house. Postmodern house is a product of ego. Bangkok shanty is a simple, direct, spontaneous reaction to the situation. Yeah, though it is devoid of feature, like this, it talks about this Bangkok shanty, though it's devoid of creature comforts, actually, it has to be creature comforts of modern society. It has a life found in any other authentic work of art. So, in medieval rural cultures, the work, art, and spirituality are bound together. Take, for example, reaping the harvest in an agricultural field. You perform your rituals before starting the work. You sing while you are reaping. All this is done to get into the act so that it happens effortlessly. And you are relieved from the burden of that. And it is a spiritual experience. This again, I think I've taken, I'm quoting, this is from Johanni Palasma. In all areas of communication and artistic expression, our current consumerist culture tends to favor quick, forceful, noisy, and emotionally overwhelming experiences. A commercially oriented image effect, a sort of image shock, has gained popularity in comparison, in popularity in competition for the attention of the overstimulated consumers. As a sequence, today's society of spectacle, architecture has, I can't see the rest of the quotation, I think has become a spectacle or something like, it's like, now in consumerist culture, we are trying to make profit, right? So most of the things are governed by profit-making, mechanism, right? So actually, our way of life, our built fabric.
Screen out here, you can look at there.
Sorry? Okay, right. No, it's okay. No. Right, thank you. our built fabric way of life, everything is in a way sort of governed by this, the profit-making mechanism, when we are trying to make maximum profit, right? So some people, that's why some people say that the form follows profit, not form follows function. So, so most of these egoistic, buildings of consumerism keeps us on the surface, like in the level of subject-object duality. So, do not actually allow us to see the inner levels of a perception, the sort of pre-conceptual level where the poetic image lies, where you see the world qualitatively. A kind of bit of divine state according to Eastern thinking, and also Indian thinking of the past. So I'll show you some few projects that we've completed, and yeah. This is a holiday bungalow constructed in a sloping terrain, facing a panoramic view of a mountain range. So we did this whole building out of salvage materials demolished from a factory, and it has 2 bedrooms and small living, dining, and a pantry area. The main feature of the building is its weaving deck, right? So we have sort of placed the building to capture the immense enclosure between the building and the crescent of mountains, and also to we oriented it towards, actually the weaving deck is oriented towards the number 11 is a small green patch of, paddy field at the bottom of the valley. Right. Then that's the plan of the building. You can see the weaving deck and the small pantry and all. So it's a very thin, long building, sits on pillars, sort of softly touching the ground, and it does minimum harm to the ecology, the environment. Right. So that's the living area. That's the bedroom. The next project is a wellness resort. It's situated in central hill country of Sri Lanka. So being a wellness resort, the main feature of the hotel is its spa, right? So that's the main building of that is the spa. Actually, it's it was designed as a series of green terraces, which sort of merge with the small paddy field in the valley in front.
you know, these, apart from these terraces, we have two pavilions. One is actually the entrance to the entrance pavilion to the spa, and the other one is the workers' facility and storage. So these spaces underneath the terraces we've designed like sort of very protective, comforting space. You know, they sort of ask for in a spa sort of experience as if you are in your mother's womb, like. That's the main building, the restaurant. That's a lounge area. This is the entrance to the spa, the entrance pavilion. It frames the views beyond. So that's the small water therapy area. That's actually the spa with the terraces and the entrance pavilion at the far end. This is a house we did in Colombo suburbs. It's facing a lake. It has, I think, we had 4 bedrooms and the living, dining and common areas. So it has a central courtyard with a pool in it. And it was designed to capture the views of the lake and to sort of cut off the view of the access road. Right, you can see that in the elevation. So we created a green terrace above the garage, which sort of has a kind of an infinity edge-like edge. So which sort of brings in the lake closer visually. That's the pool. Yeah. This is a small 1-bedroom holiday bungalow, which we did for our quantity surveyor. You know, after, you know, building our expressways, people began to travel to their native places from Colombo frequently. So we did this in his ancestral property, which is facing a small paddy field and some mountains beyond the paddy field. So he wanted to plant coconut in his land, and for that purpose he sort of he cut a few small teak trees, right? So we use that teak trunks to build the structure. So that's the plan of the building. Yeah. There's a bedroom and a toilet and a small living area. So this is how we build. So we have these teak trunks, and the rest of the timber is all actually from the storage of his ancestral house. Yes. That's the interior. That's the bedroom. This is urban renewal project that we undertook about 5 years ago. We converted some abandoned colonial period warehouses into office spaces. These office spaces were actually meant for people who are doing technical innovations, sort of cutting edge technical innovations to the global marketplace for export purposes. So that's the first stage of the project. So those are the typical warehouse base. So what we did was we created courtyards in alternative base so that you sort of bring in the nature into the office spaces. And also we introduced some mezzanine floors with toilets facilities required for the office spaces. And we also planted a lot of trees around the open areas. It has been a very successful project. Now it's in very high demand at the moment. That's the mezzanine floor, and it's a sort of a contrasting feature that we made inside the typical warehouse bay. And we also did all the additions and renovations to match the industrial aesthetics of the colonial era. This is a recently completed building. It's an office building. So actually our client wanted to convert this into a ballet studio at a later stage. So we avoided pillars inside the building and created sort of rib beams at close intervals. So the building is actually mainly done with fair face concrete, and wherever the brickwork was introduced, we sort of gave it a finished cement slurry finish so that it sort of merges with the rest of the concrete finishes. You can see the rib beams of the slab. And also we have these thin metal fins to shade the windows, as well as to sort of create a interesting visual, comforting visual effects inside, which sort of veils the harsh environment outside. That's a rooftop something. This is again a holiday bungalow, small holiday bungalow, which is about 10 kilometers away from Colombo city in Colombo suburbs, which again is facing a river, and it has 2 bedrooms and a studio room in the front section of the house, which is meant for an artist. And we have a courtyard in the center, and you have the river on the other side of the main living area, so that we have wall-to-wall windows, large windows. So the courtyard and the river, the space on the river side, and the living area sort of have a kind of seamless connection. And it is a naturally ventilated building, again built on pillars, right? It has good cross ventilation. And again, a lightweight structure sort of softly touching the ground. So that's the view from the courtyard. And the artist studio space, part of the studio. That's the living room. That's the bedroom. We've designed a project in Kolhapur, India, which we completed the conceptual stage. So I will show some pictures of the building. Is a resort project of 40 rooms. So that's the layout of the resort, which is in a place called Amba in Kolhapur, in Pune. So it's actually, it sits on outskirts of Western Ghats. So it is again on a hilly terrain, and in the rear of the site you get a preserved forest, and it sort of slopes down to some agricultural lands in front, and also have far away mountain views. These are some of the conceptual images we made. We actually doing two projects together. One is a resort project, other one is a villa project. These pictures are actually from the villa project. I don't have the layout of that. The public, you know, the restaurant and the lounge areas. So that's the bar. That is the spa, entrance to the spa. And a water therapy area. That's a lobby. And that's the living and dining area of one of the villas. Yeah. Right. I think I am not using my allocated time. I'm sorry, I should have brought some more pictures. But I can use that time. If you have any questions, we can discuss.
As we bring this session to a close, we would like to thank architect Thisara Thanapathy for his generous and insightful speech today. Your significant contribution to both the event and architecture is truly appreciated. To present the memento, I invite architect Anup K. Nair and Jose K. Matthew and our associate partner Gadgion to join us on the stage and do the honors.